you go. Now you know.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome, and if not, what's up, bunnies? How's it going? Baby, do I have a story for you today. Child, come closer. Come closer. Come closer. Do not go on a girls trip to Cabo. Now, of course, I'm kidding. Do whatever you want. Go on that trip with your girls. I'm just saying, you know, we live in a world where we've always heard that, you know, if you go to Miami on a girls trip, you don't come back friends. And honestly, I can see how that may be a thing, but I'm such a girl's girl. I want to believe that I can go outside the country, I can go on a trip with my girlfriends, and we come back intact. Okay, we come back together. If anything, we are more in love with our friendship because we got to travel the seas and explore and make these memories. And so now we can come back and I wish, but after this trip that I'm going to talk to you guys about, I don't know if I'm a girls trip girl. So yes, y'all, today's video, I'm going to be talking about the worst girls trip ever. The girls trip from hell. Sorry if I may stumble on my words a few times in this video, bitch. This shit is traumatizing. And of course, now that I'm older and a lot of time has gone by, I can look at where I should have saw some red flags, or I can look at maybe I should have moved differently. But you couldn't understand until you're in this situation. Okay, you're running on adrenaline, you are running on just survival, you are just trying to figure things out. Oh God, but now, with that being said, I have this crazy ass story. So if you guys want to hear this whole story entirely on the worst girls trip from hell, make sure to watch at the end of the video. And make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And push the notification bell so you guys are always notified when I upload. I upload every single Monday, and also I upload shorts every single day. So go ahead and catch that. But before we get into today's video, I want to shout out today's sponsor. You guys know I am just a small channel growing, so I don't have a sponsor, but I do have a scent oil company called NomixCo. So thank you to today's sponsor, NomixCo. NomixCo is my scent oil company. We have this one scent out right now. It is called Velour. Oh, it smells so good. I love to just put a dab on my wrist like that. Put it together, put some behind the neck, like a little bit above the ears, because I feel like, ooh, with this area, when people hug me, that's all they smell. Okay, they're just getting a whiff of it. I also love this scent because it smells like baby powder. I love a baby powder. Like, I love putting this on after a hot bubble bath. Okay, shout out to my Romanticize Your Life video. Y'all know I love my bubble baths. My bubble bath with like some soft music, moisturize my body. I smell like I'm floating on a cloud. Like, it's just so amazing. So if you want to smell like you're floating on a cloud, make sure to go to NomixCo.com and make sure to use our promo code NomixCo20 at checkout to get 20% off your entire order. And also, guys, I have free shipping. So you have a discount and I'm giving you free shipping. You know I love you. So thank you again to NomixCo. And now, guys, let's get into the story. Okay, so this story starts August of 2021. Where I was in August 2021, I think the world had opened up for about a month at that point. I was in my hot girl era, honey. Literally right before COVID, I had found this new group of friends who introduced me to West Hollywood, and I was going out and partying, and then boom, the pandemic happened. So for that year and a half, like, that wanting to go out and party was still in me. So when the world opened up, like, honey, I went out and had a good time. And so this day, whatever day this was in August, I ended up going to this club called The Reserve in downtown LA. Y'all already know me. I love doing things on my own. I went there by myself, had a ball. Whilst I was in there, I ended up meeting a group of girls. I forgot what these girls' names are. It's been such a long time, but one of them stuck out to me. She was really pretty. And I just liked her vibe, the vibe that I could sense whilst we're in this club. And so after the club was over, we're all walking outside and we just kind of like form a circle amongst each other and we're talking. And once again, I'm just like getting a vibe from this one girl. And I'm like, girl, you're cool. Let's exchange numbers and like we'll go to brunch or something like that. So for the sake of this story, let's call her Amanda. So my friends in this story, this horror story, her name is Amanda. So immediately after me and Amanda meet, we are moving quick. We are talking to each other every single day. We're going out almost every weekend. Like, at this point, like between August and when we went on our trip, yeah, we had been friends for 4 years. Like I said, we would hang out all the time, talk all the time. So the kind of bond that I had formed with her in those 4 months, I was just like, oh, this girl is my new best friend. And I don't even use best friend wisely because she's not your best friend. But you can't help but to get excited because of this new friendship that you're starting and how often you guys guys talk and hang out, you just can't help but to start feeling feels for this new girl that's in your life and this friendship that you're forming. Specifically at this age too. You know, I think I'm 25 at this time. I'm still a little wet behind the ears, and plus, you know, COVID. So in theory, I'm 23 still. But no, I'm 25 when I meet her. And like I said, it was a meteoric rise, our friendship, and we just had the best time. So actually, our friendship was so tough that on Halloween, we said, we're going to Vegas, bitch, and we're going to spend Halloween out there. And honestly, that trip was so much fun. Like we were just girls. We were just girls in the streets of Vegas when Vegas was fun, you know, got drunk, partied, met some cool people, met some quirky people. But regardless, that was definitely a trip that we would reminisce on from October to December. So literally after the Halloween vacation, we knew that we wanted to spend New Year's together. We didn't know what we wanted to do yet. We were thinking about going on a cruise, but at that time they were still enforcing like mad COVID protocols. So we ended up saying, you know what, let's go to Cabo. I had never been to Cabo before. I can't remember if she's been, but she was well traveled at that point. So I want to believe she did. And we knew, like, us two hot girls in Cabo for New Year's, like we just knew we would have a good time. So from October to December, we're planning out our trip. We just know that we're gonna have a good time. And finally the day comes. We go to the airport, we arrive in Cabo, and as soon as we arrive, we are just, like I said, we are planning to have the best girl trip ever. Guys, sorry at any point if you hear my cat meowing. She is just going through it tonight, and sorry y'all, I love her, but girl, mommy's recording. So now we're in Cabo, but I just want to back up a little bit and tell you a main part of the story. So during our friendship, I ended up introducing her to an old friend. This friend, for the sake of this story, his name was Michael. So at one point, my friend Michael was literally like my soulmate, like my best friend on the planet. We grew up together. I just knew he would be my best friend for the rest of my life. But unfortunately, when we got into our early 20s, you know, things happened, our friendship dismantled, but we still kind of kept a little bit in contact, not that much. You know, I had also gotten married, you know, things happened, but at this point we had gotten back into contact with each other. But the thing is that he was actually in jail, and that was really devastating. He was actually in there for a very devastating thing. But I decided to continue contact with him because I was still young. You know, there was a part of me that missed that friendship, and, you know, we can talk, you know, we could talk once every 2 weeks or something like that. Like, I just missed having him in my life. So I started talking to him again. I think there was one day where me and, damn, what is her name? What did I say her name was? Amanda. There was one day where me and Amanda were at the beach, and he calls me, and, you know, we're drunk at the beach having a good time. So when I answer the phone, I'm like, what's up, friend? Like, what's going on? Like, oh my God, you're my best friend. Let me introduce you to my new best friend, you know, get to know each other. And at one point I give her the phone, and she's sitting down talking to Michael, and I'm talking to like whatever guys we were talking to or whatever. She gives me the phone back after a few minutes, and she's like, oh, he sounds like really cool, you know. And I was like, yeah, you know, but even me at that time in my life was just like, well, but beware though, you know, but yes, for like his spirit sometimes, yeah, he's a good guy. So I didn't know this, but they had exchanged numbers. So I think Amanda gave him, obviously, because he's in jail, bitch. Amanda ended up giving him her number, and I can't even remember how I found out, but I think I just found out from like us hanging out, and she's like, well, you know, your friend called me. And then I'm like, what? You know, and then we kind of go from there. Mind you, I don't care about them being friends. I think that it's actually a beautiful thing. Like, yeah, like, look at my new friend and my old friend, they're talking, like, that's cool. And plus he's in jail. Like, I'm pretty sure you want like a pretty girl to talk to or whatever, you know, not really thinking anything of it. And if something was to happen from it, whatever, that's great. Awesome. So as time goes by, so now it's like late October, November, she's telling me that, you know, they have basically become pen pals. Like, they're pretty close. They talk all the time. He has admitted some stuff to her that he hasn't even admitted to me. And, I'm like I said, I feel good that at least he has someone to talk to. But there also was this part of me because, like, Amanda was a bad bitch and like kind of held herself to like a really high standard. So it was like odd to me that she was spending so much time talking with this man that she doesn't know. And honestly, a man that I don't even really talk about, and they're like forming this friendship. But like I said, like, girl, do your thing. Like, it is what it is. And then there came a time when she told me that he had, expressed some really deep, dark shit to her. And also another thing that he had never told me, you know, mind you too, when they're conversing more, he doesn't really call me anymore, which is another thing that I'm like, I don't really care about, you know, but it was just something I noticed in the moment, like, oh, you know, like he called you, but he didn't call me. Okay, well still, turn up, whatever, like live your life. It's just more of like an observation. So, you know, that day that she tells me that like all of this stuff had happened between, you know, her and him, I'm just like, oh my God, like that's so sad. But, you know, he said something on the lines of like, you know, whatever that he was going through, and he was just really happy at the end of the day that like he had her, because he was feeling some deep, dark emotions. I'll just say that. So like I said, you know, when she's telling me this, I'm just like, oh my God, but you know, thank you for being there for him. Little did I know, whilst they're forming this friendship, he is telling lies about me to her. And now these things that he's saying to her are now making her look at me differently. But mind you, I don't know that this is happening. I don't know that this is happening, but she's collecting false information about me and still continuing a friendship with me, and just kind of seeing where this goes. And honestly, looking back at it, what a weird time, bitch. So by the time that we get to Cabo, you know, this is a man that she talks to. I don't know if they're in a relationship or not. I just know that they're very friendly, and you know, that's cool. But like I said, once again, like Amanda just didn't even seem like the kind of bitch that would do something like that. So I just always found it odd. But once again, I know I keep saying that, but like, once again, like, baby, do you. And so, you know what, actually, I want to back up a little bit. There was like one last time that we went out before we went to Cabo, and we got pissy drunk, and she started kind of like, not bawling to me, but saying in a sad tone, like just how, you know what, this is where I got things mixed up. When she told me about like the deep dark shit that he was telling her, it was this night when we were out, one of our last times we were out before Cabo, and she was kind of like pissy drunk, crying to me like, oh my God, like you don't know what he's going through, and like he's going through this and he's going through that, and you know, all of this and all of that. And I'm just like, you know, that's really sad, but like you can't sit here and tell me like I don't understand what he's going through. And like, you know, I think even at one point she said that, you know, he was talking about me, saying that like I low-key abandoned her and this and this, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, we had like a real argument about this man and about one like little false thing that he had said about me, or like me not having, I don't even know, I can't even understand. But you know, my argument with her was just basically us going back and forth with, well, he said this, and I'm like, well, I'm saying this, and well, he said that, well, I'm saying this. Like, even to this day, it's just disgusting to ever fight with a woman over some man, over him because y'all dating, over what a man said. Like, where is the female camaraderie here? Like, what is going on? And bitch, I introduced you to him, so how are you gonna believe what this nigga in jail is telling you? And I am your real friend that has broke bread with you, that has made memories with you, that has done this and this and this, and you don't believe me, or you're just like, I don't understand. So now, yes, we have officially gotten to Cabo. The first day that we get there kind of like in the evening. So we knew that our first day was just going to be us, you know, getting some food and then coming back to the hotel, you know, showering, getting dressed, taking a few shots, and then we would be taking an Uber to downtown. Downtown was about 10-15 minutes from us. So as we're getting dressed and as we're taking our shots and stuff, she gets in a little mood, and I'm just like, girl, like what's going on? Mind you, it's like 10 p.m. 9:30, around there, we should be leaving soon. And she starts kind of like how she was that night when we went out, her just kind of already kind of starting to get like pissy drunk, her getting emotional about Michael. And she ended up saying like point blank, like, I don't believe what you're saying, I believe what Michael is saying. He ended up telling her that I have always wanted him, I'm jealous that they have whatever they have with each other. And I was literally like, boing, like, what? Like, what? He ends up also telling her that I was the reason why, you know, his relationships didn't work out. Like, I wanted to be with him, and so I would like basically sabotage his relationships. Like, he was just saying some about me to her. And then also too, when I was thinking, I'm like, well, you're saying that he is saying that I'm jealous of the friendship that you guys are building together, what would make him even think that? And now looking back, it's because whatever that day was when I realized that, like, instead of calling me, he calls her, and now he doesn't call me at all, and I made that observation to her. I'm guessing she went to him and said that and made it seem like, oh, well, you know, Nastasha's jealous because you don't call her anymore. So when he has that prompt, he ends up saying the most false shit about me. Like, to this day, like, it actually hurts. It hurts because who I was to this person, and like the memories that I created, and the kind of friend that I thought that he was, to now experience this, it was just like, are you doing this for some like, are you doing this for, like, I don't understand why you're doing it. It's not even something to be understood. Like, you got me up, and like, it's kind of on sight when I see you. That was what my energy was. And it's so funny too, because when he's telling her Nastasia's always wanted to be in a relationship with me, and she sabotaged my relationship, it was sick, because that is actually who he was in my life. Okay, so let me run it back for you. So like I said, I met him in elementary school. We became friends like our 7th, 8th grade year. That's when we really became friends, and we were friends all through high school. He's always had a crush on me, and I've never liked him back. He's just always been my best friend. Literally, like, our friends and family would be like, you guys know that you guys are gonna be together when you get older. And we were kind of like Simba and Nala, like, ugh, but I didn't want him. I never did want him. I never wanted to be in a relationship with him or took him serious or anything like that. He was always my friend. But come to find out, once we got out of high school, he had always felt differently, which I kind of figured, because look at me. But like, I can fucking tell when someone is interested in me. And there was at one point, even when I was in a relationship with the guy that he introduced me to, there was a point when he broke it off with a girl that I actually introduced him to, right? Broke it off with that girl, came to me and said that he can't even be with her, like lay down with her, be with her, or anything like that, because he wants to be with me. And he's always wanted to be with me. Catch that. So everything that he's saying to her is the life I lived. You were the one that sabotaged my relationship. I was in the relationship with the guy that he introduced me to. And whilst I'm in this relationship, that's when he's coming to me talking about that he's fell in love with me, and he's always felt like this, and he's always like, the disrespect to me and my boyfriend at that time. Like, what are you doing? Like, what is this? There was at one point, even before all this had happened, where we tried, because I'm young, and I'm just like, well, you know, like, let's see what people are talking about. But once I just knew it wasn't for me. And like I said, when I finally got into a relationship with the guy that he introduced me to, and he's in a relationship with the girl that I introduced him to, and now he's in my face talking, I'm in love with you, da 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 da. I'm just like, this is insane. And so honestly, that was kind of like the start of the end. You know, I ended up breaking up with the boy that he introduced me to. And funny enough, going back to my DV relationship video, I ended up getting a relationship with my ex-husband. So it was never going to be between us. I was never interested in him. I don't give a really, honestly. I don't mean to say it like that, but I don't care what this man does in his day-to-day life. I don't care who he's friends with, who he dates. Like, I just don't care. And if anything, at this point, when we are communicating with each other, I really haven't been in his life for a while now. So us having these phone conversations is us trying to like rebuild our friendship. But truly, how much can you even build when someone's behind bars? But I was trying to be a good friend for him and to him, and be the emotional support that I figured that he needed. So when I introduced him to Amanda, I just felt like I was doing that again. I'm introducing you to another person who could possibly be a beacon of light for your life. So like I said, when we get to this point where before we go to Cabo, she's talking to me about how he's saying this, this, and this about me, and to now we're fighting, to now actually being in Cabo, and she's bringing it up again. And now I'm hearing that he is saying even more crazy false lies about me. Me and her get into an argument. Mind you, she's pissy drunk at this point, and it's so weird too, because all we did was drink together and party. So the fact that she's like on another level of lit in Cabo, I just really couldn't understand. Bitch, we're in Cabo. Why are you so lit so quick? And why are you so lit yapping in my face about something that has nothing to do with me? Like, this is your life. This is the life that you have created with him. Why am I in it? And why is he talking shit about, like, just so many whys? Like I said, you can't comprehend what's going on and why this is even happening. Bitch, me and her argue for so long. I look up and it is officially New Year's. So we never left the hotel because we were arguing. I didn't get to see the ball drop. I didn't get to spend New Year's in a Mexican restaurant or bar or club. Or I spent my New Year's going into 2022 with you, arguing in this hotel over this. I was distraught. I was so set. And at that point, and for one, like, that is something I would never let anybody do ever again moving forward. Like, I would have been like, bitch, I know we in Mexico and we're supposed to have the buddy system, but you tripping, I'm about to go out and have a good time. Like, that is so the person that I am. And even that's why, like, telling you guys this story, it is just so, like, baffling to me, the things that I've allowed people to do in my life. Once again, going back to the DV story, the worst date story, like, I run a strict program over here now, bitch. Anyway, so, you know, once I realized that, you know, it's officially New Year's, we missed the ball drop, we didn't get to celebrate New Year's at any kind of anything, bitch, I was defeated. I went in the shower, you know, washed all my makeup off, went in my jammies, she did the same, and we went to bed pretty upset at each other. The next morning, we're girls, bitch, we're young women. We talk about it and we kind of just make a truce. Like, that won't ever happen again. We can just leave that behind us. Like, I understand, like, things happen, but we won't let ourselves do that again. And we came here for our sole purpose, so let's do that. So I think our trip was like 5 days or something like that. Second, third, fourth, or second or third, depending on how many days we are. Had a ball, bitch. Had a ball. If I can put up pictures or videos, like anything that I have, I'll put it up here. Had a ball. It was one of the best trips I've ever had in my life. We had so much fun. I love Mexico to this day because it was amazing. It was just so beautiful to be like on these, you know, warm sandy beaches, and it's like 80 degrees, and I know it's freezing back in LA. So like I said, we had a wonderful time making memories together. Even despite everything that had happened on that first day, I truly believed like that was just a little hiccup. You know, girls, we fight, we get into arguments, we have disagreements, but we really truly have like put that behind us, and you know, we can move forward and just have the best time ever. And we did. It was a great trip, and I can stand 10 toes down on that. Like, at the end of the day, I had an amazing trip. But now, alas, now it's time to get to the tail end. Now, this is our third to last day. So it is the day into the night, and then we're gonna be here for one more day, and then we leave the next day. So our third to last day, we're at the pool taking pictures, being cute. And when we're doing that, there is this older white woman that comes to us. We end up finding out that it's like her 40th birthday. She's here with like her family, but her family, I think it's like her sister with her kids. So it's not really giving like the hot girl 40-year-old birthday that she deserves. And us being 25, you know, we like, girl, like, you don't have to be stuck in the house with them kids. Like, come with us tonight. We'll have a great time. And she, like, you could just tell she was loving our energy, and we were exactly what she needed. And honestly, in that moment, I was very happy to be there for her. So before I continue with the story, I just want to add a few things. So me and Amanda, we said before we even got to Cabo, before we even started planning anything, we knew that for one, we would never go off from each other, and two, we would never drink out of someone else's glass, bottle, anything like that. Like, if we're gonna drink any alcohol, it's because we're drinking it from, you know, our bottle that we bought at the store, or maybe bar drinks. But that's why we would arrive shit-faced, you know, and would just probably like sustain that with like one drink at the bar, because we just didn't want to play any games like that. And also, we said that we're only going to be drinking tequila, so just keep that in mind as well. So we're in our hotel, we're getting dressed, and the three of us, we made a plan to go to the rooftop. So we go up to the rooftop, we're there first, we're taking pictures, we're taking shots of our tequila bottle, and then the older woman, she comes up. I don't want to keep calling her older woman because it's not even like she was older, but she was 40 and she was hot. We'll call her Hottie. Yeah. So Hottie comes up, and she just makes me think of Flavor of Love. Yeah, so Hottie comes up, she meets us on the rooftop, and like I said, we're having a good time. We are taking shots. She at one point offered us her vodka shots, but you know, of course, I look at Amanda, you know, knowing that we're gonna say no, but Amanda says yes. Amanda says yes. And I look at Amanda like, bitch, you know, I don't even just look at her. I say, bitch, you know, and she's like, I got it. Like, I got it. And I'm just like, for one, we already said we're not going to be drinking out other people's anything. And two, bitch, you're mixing vodka with tequila. What are you doing? But at the end of the day, Amanda's a grown-ass woman, so she can do what she can. She can do what she wants to do. But I also knew I don't want to play nobody's mama. But also, when we went to Vegas for Halloween, bitch, she was my mama. But that's the kind of friendship we had. So it's like, I don't want to be mama, but I'll be mama. Just like how she didn't want to be mama, but she was mama. We got to make sure each other is okay. And we love it. These are the memories. So I kind of like mentally prepared myself for if I have to put that mommy hat on, and I was fine with it. So she was taking shots. We were continuing to take shots. By the time that we get in an Uber going to downtown, all of us are lit as fuck. I didn't realize how lit Amanda was until we literally get out of the Uber to go into our first like bar, and she looks wasted. Like there's no other way I can say it. She looks wasted. And I'm looking at her like there's no way that you can be like wasted. Like drunk but wasted, like to the point where she's like you know, and I'm like, okay, you know what, let's just go, because sometimes we do slip. So I'm like, you know what, let's go to this. It was like a quieter bar, like it was still music, but there weren't that many people there, and it wasn't like wow, you know, it was just like a bar. We go there, we sit her down, we get her some water because it's obvious, like, okay, my bitch, you know, take a knee for our girl, but let's just get her some water. Let's, you know, put some, you know, air on her face, you know, put some lipstick on her lips, and she'll get back to normal. So we end up doing that, and it was so crazy because at one point I was just like, oh my God, like, no, we're gonna have to go back home. Like, I don't think that we're gonna be able to have the night that we want to have, because she is just kind of like going through it. And you want to know something? There was a part of me that didn't mind it. Like, we had went hard like all those days before, so I didn't mind that. Like, we kind of took an L tonight. I didn't mind it. So we ended up staying at the bar for a little bit longer, and then, you know, we decided to just go back to the hotel. Honestly, there was a part of me, because obviously I was like more conscious than my friend here, Amanda. I'm telling Hadi, I'm like, you know what, I am so sorry that this is going on. Trust me, like, this is not the vibe that we were on, you know, just trying to save face. But honestly, I think Hadi was just happy to be here. Like, Hadi was like, I ain't had a life in a few somethings now, so just even to be here with all of this going on, like, I am happy to be here. And I'm like, okay, God, because me and you can go back to the hotel and we can still have a good time, you know. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter where we are. Your vibe is your vibe, and we have drinks, like, we'll be fine. I wanted to insert this as well. So I had phone duty the whole trip. I know you're probably like, damn, bitch, that's a lot. I didn't mind having phone duty. At that time, I had like this cute like little bag. You remember when like little bags were in? So all I could fit was Hadi's lip liner. It had my phone, Amanda's phone, and, you know, like our keys to get back into the hotel. And I think we had like our debit cards and our ID like in our phone case. So at one point when we're at this bar, Amanda asks if I can hold her phone, and I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem, I'm on phone duty, this isn't anything crazy. And then not too much longer, she asks me back for her phone. Okay, yeah, no problem, here's your phone. At this point, like I said, I'm knowing that it's time to wrap it up. Let's go back to the hotel. So either me or Hadi orders the Uber back to the hotel. And at this point, the Uber gets here. We're walking to the Uber, and this bitch Amanda throws up all over me. All over me, all over my dress, all over my shoes, all over. But honestly, like when it first happened, I was like, ah, you know, but honestly, like being in the moment, it was just like, bitch, get your drunk ass in this Uber. Like, if anything, it just made all of us laugh. Like, bitch, you were going through it. Like, a lot of stuff is happening right now. Just trying to keep it together. Because mind you, we're still in like lit ass Cabo, downtown Cabo. So there's still people hooting and hollering and having a good time. So I think just all of that combined together, it was just, yeah, let's go home. I'm happy we decided to go home. And two, bitch, like me joking around with her being like, bitch, you gotta buy me new shoes when we get back. And she's just like, I'm sorry. So when we're in the Uber, I'm catching she's having like a little attitude. Like, she's just being like Miss Snickety Poo. Like, she got drunk and she's back. She's being a little diva right now. I've seen this side of her before, but I don't really pay her no mind. So I just be like, bitch, shut up. But you know, when I would say like funny rebuttals like that, she would be like serious. And then I would look at her and be like, girl, stop. Like, stop. So we get to the hotel, and at this point she's still kind of like talking shit. So me and Hadi, we're kind of just like, you know, this is getting kind of hot, you know, this isn't really fun anymore. So Hadi's like, I'll see y'all later. And I'm just like, you know, I know, like, girl, honestly, I'm just ready to go to bed. This bitch is too much. I'm mad. I smell like throw up. Like, it's okay for us to call it a night. Like, I'm okay with that. So Hadi leaves, and me and Amanda, we get inside the hotel, and immediately when we walk in, she's like, where's my phone? And I'm like, what you mean, where's your phone? And she's like, I don't know where my phone is. And like, we're starting to look around the hotel like frantic as we can't find her phone. And then at one point she looks at me and she's like, you had my phone, you lost my phone, and like just starts going off on me, like making this false claim. And I'm like, no, bitch, I gave you back your phone. Yes, I've had our phones throughout this vacation, but I remember giving your phone back when you were drunk in the bar. Maybe you left it on the bar table, and how would anybody have known? Because we wouldn't have known to be looking for a lost phone. And two, bitch, you were throwing up on us. Like, we ain't focusing on like what's behind us. We're trying to get out of here. And I'm explaining this to her, and she is just like, no, you lost my phone, you stupid bitch. Like, going in on me, like in on me. And once again, I'm looking at her like, is this happening right now? Like, I'm not even retaliating back. I'm just looking at her, taking all of this in. Like, I know you ain't talking to me like this. Like, I know she's drunk as f. There was a part of me that just wanted to listen to her ramble to hear what else she got to say. Because the stuff that she was starting to say, it was just like, what you mean and where is this coming from? And plus, I know I didn't lose your phone, so I'm not about to fight with a drunk fool. So that's what ends up happening. She ends up sitting on her bed. And of course, she's like still going off about her phone, telling her, bitch, you had your phone, like it is what it is. And then she starts going for like the jugular. Like, I'm not gonna say what she said because honestly, like, she starts saying things that I told her in confidence, you know, trying to use it as like ammunition. But, you know, she was just coming for my character. She was coming for, you know, all the things that I had told her. Like, you know, she was throwing like the story of my rock bottom. Like, she was throwing that shit at me. She was throwing, you know, the things I told her about my marriage. She was throwing that at me, my family problems. She was throwing everything at me. And then to end it, and mind you, like I said, I'm looking at her computing. Like, I'm trying to compute this image and this audio of her screaming at me, saying these like, you can't come back from this type shit, like unforgivable type shit. And I'm so just flabbergasted. I think I'm heartbroken too, because I'm just like, what? Mind you too, these are all things that she has been thinking of me. And it's finally come out now. And I think that's what hurt even more, because I'm like, damn, bitch, we've been friends for months at this point, and you're talking to me about things that I told you like the first 3 weeks of our friendship. So how long have you felt that I was this person or that person or whatever? Like, that shit started hurting. But I know, bitch, though, we ain't gonna say it like that, because what she had coming is what she had coming, but we're not there yet. And I think the icing on the cake for me was her saying, she started talking about Michael, and she told me more sensitive things that he had told her. And then, you know, her ending it with like, you're just jealous because he loves me and he doesn't love you. You've always wanted him, and that's why you've always, like, you know, talking about that shit that she talked about before we went to Cabo. Like, you've always wanted him. You've always broken up his relationships. Like, you want him. And finally, I'm just like, bitch, are you that dumb? Like, I started cussing her out. Like, are you that dumb that you're believing some that's finessing you in jail? Do you even want to know why he's in jail? And let's not go there. Let's not go there, right? But you're going to believe this person who says this about me. And it's so up because everything he's saying about me is literally the life I lived. And I'm trying to tell her that, like, he's talking about that, but he was the one, like, it is insane what this person, what Michael was telling her for what, like I said, like, what was this for? Like, what was your end game with this? He is a weak-minded individual. He is a loser, and that's why he is where he is. And I heard that he'll be out of jail soon. So if you do ever see this, it's on site when I see you. I'm not trying to curse nobody, but I truly believe that karma, I wouldn't be surprised if it got both of them, because you don't treat someone like how they treated me, and you away with that shit. If anything, you already got your karma, you in jail. But anyways, as I go on, so like I said, you know, she's saying the most derogatory things to me. I have never heard someone say anything like this to my face like this. It was just insane. And so after she got all of that out, she stands up, and mind you, I'm 5'10". Okay, she has to be 5'5", something like that. Short girl. And yeah, we're both in heels, but bitch, it's the same height if we're wearing the same amount of inches in heels. And she gets into my face and she tries to put her hands on me. And I'm like trying to just, you know, kind of just like hold her back, you know, like, Amanda, you don't want to do this. Like, you don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. And she's still up in my face. And so when she shoves me, bitch, it was like as if Thanos himself, like, got all the strength in the world, bitch. I must have shoved her and she flew onto the bed. Like, I'm not even being hyperbolic. Like, I ain't a bitch. It makes me think of that scene in the Chappelle show when Charlie Murphy was talking about his encounter with Rick James when they're in the hotel and that kicks him and he flies into the window.
Kick the shit out of him, man.
That's how it feels. Like, that's how it felt. Like, you really don't understand how strong you are until you get into like survival mode, or, you know, you're trying to defend yourself, bitch. I was very strong. I was surprised at my own strength. But she ended up popping back up and like wanted some more. She was like a chihuahua. And I'm like, all right. I literally got her like by the hair and like swung her, and she flew into the shelf. Mom, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry. But Mom, if you're watching this, I called you. I called you after all of this was done, bawling to you like, Mom, can you believe this? Like, Oh my God. Like, and thank you, Mom, for being there because you were there with me. And, you know, I had to defend myself. I had to defend myself for the words that she was saying. And when she put her hands on me, when she put her hands on me, it was nothing. It was not like, it was done. It was done. We ended up fighting. I'm guessing that somebody ended up hearing our commotion. They called the police. So whilst we're in our, like, you know, girly fight, our cat fight that we're having, you know, the police knocks on the door, and I know that it's the police, and I kind of like get myself together. She automatically runs to the door, answers the door, and goes outside with the police and closes the door. So as I'm getting myself together, I knew that she already had first dibs on the cops, so she can go and tell her version of the story and I can get arrested or I can get whatever. But I was scared because we're in Mexico, we're in this foreign country. I'm not trying to get in trouble. Like, I'm just not trying to get in trouble. I didn't want any of this. As I get myself together, I walk outside the door and I just like peek my head out to see what's going on. And all I see is her with the cops in front of her, like with that look pointing at me. Like, she looked like a little kid that like did something bad and then she's like wanting to point the blame at me. It was so surreal seeing that shit. But when she did that, I immediately come back into the room because I'm like mentally preparing myself to get arrested. And I wasn't really gonna bring this up, but it did play a big role where my psyche was at that moment too. So I feel like I should just say it. I've talked about this in other videos as well. Like I said, I'm 5'10", I'm dark skinned. Amanda is 5'5", and she is black and white, but she is white passing. So I just knew just off of that they would probably believe her. And that's really sad that I thought about that. But honestly, that's the life that we live. And a lot of people, I'm sure, have experienced that same feeling too. And it was just really sad. So like I said, I mentally prepared myself to get arrested. Thank God I didn't. That's not what happened. They came inside and, you know, one officer was with her in the hallway. One came with me and is just trying to figure out what's going on. You could kind of tell that they're like, oh, you know, two drunk girls, you know, in Mexico. And I can completely understand that. Like, this is so whack. Like, this is so whack that we destroyed this room. She's pissy drunk. She lost her phone. Like, it's sad. Mind you too, because she had lost her phone, now I have a grip hold on my phone because I'm not losing my phone. I just felt like that was what the energy could do, you know, because we're like in this chaotic state. So I have a grip on my phone. At one point I go to the bathroom because I'm just too overwhelmed with all of this. I end up finding this out later. Whilst I'm in the bathroom getting myself together, her and the other cop, and now there's two cops in the room, they are looking through stuff, which that's crazy that I even allowed them in our room. They shouldn't have been there in the first place, but I just was so distraught. I didn't really understand. I didn't know what to do. So they went through everything and they got, I think they took like her ID and she gave them my passport. She gave them my passport. Like I said, I didn't know this. So cops go off. All I know is when I come back out, it's just me and her. So the cops are gone. Whilst I'm trying to clean up the room, because now I'm not even focused on her anymore. I'm just trying to clean at least my side of the room because this is chaotic what this room looks like. And I'm just so disappointed in you and us and just all of this. So I'm getting my shit together. As I'm packing up everything, I can't find my passport. So immediately I'm like, bitch, where the is my passport? Because I have my passport. Where's my passport? What is going on? She looks at me and she's like, I don't know. But it was like wicked. It felt like she did know. So when I felt that feeling, I look at her and I'm like, bitch, where the is my passport? And she says like this half, like, well, you know, like the cops wanted it. And, you know, they wanted our IDs. And then so I'm like, so where's your passport? She has her passport. Okay, so then where's my passport? And, you know, I try to like run down the stairs and like see if they're still there. The cops are still not there. And honestly, just for the next 2 days, just me just trying to get in contact with the cops, trying to see if they have my passport. You know, they don't have my passport. So for the rest of the story, I don't have a passport and I'm distraught. Like, the last thing that you want whilst in a foreign country is to lose your passport, bitch. I know that there's still a way I'm sure I can get home, but it doesn't matter. Like, I don't want to be missing flights. I don't want to have like extra, like, I don't want to go through this. Just so dramatic, but it was, it's not crazy that I was dramatic. You know, there comes a point where, like I said, I call my mom distraught. She calms me down. I'm going up to the rooftop talking to her. Like I said, I'm distraught. She calms me down. After a few hours, I go back downstairs. I guess that she had took a shower and she's now in bed. I do the same thing. We don't talk to each other. We go to sleep. So the next morning, so crazy. The next morning, both of us wake up to a housekeeper inside of our room, and we both wake up like, bitch, what the are you doing in here? And she's like, oh, sorry. So that shit was already creepy. Like, to wake up and her back was to me, but she looked like she was like cleaning the desk area. And I'm like, what are you doing in here? Like, get out. I ain't never seen no shit like that or heard no shit like that. Like, bitch. Oh my God. Not that long after it, we end up getting a knock on the door. Amanda answers it, and I can just hear Amanda conversing with Hottie, like in a low tone, like, yeah, you know, like it's crazy in here, you know, like, yeah, the cops came and just like, you know, we're just trying to figure everything out. And so in that conversation, I hear that the reason that Hottie is here is because I have her lip liner. So like I'm saying, I'm still in a daze, but I know what's going on, but I'm not thinking of it. I'm tired. I can't deal with any of this. So I end up getting up because I have to use the restroom. I use the restroom. Looking back, what happened is that I let Hottie inside, went back in the bed, and at one point, because mind you, her lip liner was still in my purse. She went into my purse to get her lip liner, and then she left. But the thing is, like I told you guys, after realizing that Amanda lost her phone, I had a tight grip on my phone. I went to sleep with my phone in my hand. Like, I just was so superstitious. Like, I didn't want to I had opened up my eyes that morning before I went to the restroom, and I had used my phone. I went to the restroom. At one point, gets in bed. At one point, Hottie comes in the room and goes in my purse and gets her lip liner. I come out the bathroom. My phone is gone. My phone is gone. So now I have no passport and I have no cell phone. And if you thought I was distraught when I lost my passport, I wanted to just go on the roof and yell timber, bitch. I was like, this cannot happen. So obviously I'm still blaming Amanda because, bitch, you let her in. So where's my phone? I'm blaming Hottie because I'm like, bitch, did you just come in here? And oh my God, it was just so crazy. And just to pass a little time, I ended up looking to find my phone. My phone was already on a freeway going somewhere in Mexico. So my phone gone. Passport is gone. Amanda's phone is gone. She still has her passport, but Amanda has like a backup iPhone, so we're able to use that on Wi-Fi to, you know, do all the things that we needed to do so we can get ourselves back on by the grace of God. Oh my God. And also I have my MacBook. So once everything settled in and we knew we were just hopeless, we actually decided to talk. And funny enough, at that point, I was willing to make up with her if the conversation went well. I was just so delusional, you know, but I was, because I loved her. Like, I thought I loved her. I loved her. So, you know, we were talking about it, everything. And mind you, when we did get into that fight, whatever alcohol I had felt in my system, bitch, I was straight. I was sober. I was sober. This is the one that she blacked out. And even looking back, like, we kind of like both came to the conclusion that she was drugged and we thought that Hottie had drugged her. So we kind of like had this vendetta to Hottie because for one, bitch, I thought that she took my phone. And then for two, we thought that she had drugged Amanda. Like, Amanda was so up. It looked like she was roofied. Like, I know what that looks like, and that's what it looked like. But now thinking about it, I think that she mixed. She mixed her alcohol, and it was really bad. All we were doing was taking shots, you know, so just shot after shot of vodka, tequila. Like, I think that that's just what did it. But at that time, like I said, we had a vendetta towards Hottie because we just knew that she took my phone and she had drugged her. So I think once we came to that conclusion, it kind of like made us come together, and that's why we decided to talk. All of that went to shit because when I told her what happened and I told him verbatim what happened, she came to the conclusion that, I remember her saying this, I'll never forget it. She was like, it's your truth, my truth, and the truth. And I don't believe that I put my hands on you. I don't believe that any of the stuff happened. I believe that you did this. Like, like, bitch, I was in the twilight zone. Like, it was once again like how it was the night before, like looking at her, like just staring at her, just trying to compute, like, is this bitch serious? Like, I don't think I've ever been in, like, well, yeah, I have, because I was completely married to a narcissistic abuser, but I hadn't been in something like that in years. That to be in this situation, I was just like, this bitch is out of her mind, and it's a wrap. Like, after we get back, like, it's a wrap. Bitch, you're crazy as You're looking at me dead in my face and you're saying that you didn't put your hands on me. You're saying that you didn't say all these things to me. Like, I wish I had recorded that moment. And I feel like even if I did record it, she would have been like, it's AI. Like, before AI even came out. You know what I'm saying? So once I knew in that conversation, this bitch is batshit crazy, I, sorry to say, used her for her resources to make sure that I got back home. We needed to get COVID tests, so we used her phone when it was on Wi-Fi to order our Ubers. And, you know, once we were able to, you know, I had to sign into my Gmail. I had to just do all of this. Like, I had nothing. Like, if it wasn't for the last friendship that I had with her, I don't even know how I would have gotten back. Like, she literally thought we were back friends. Like, and, you know, obviously because we you know, we didn't take pictures really that much the night before, and now this is another day, we have all these clothes. We decided to make the rest of the day after we got our COVID test, we'll just get dressed in all these outfits and we'll just do a photo shoot, because if we can we at least get something from that? I still need to just make the most of it, do this photo shoot and whatever. So we ended up getting everything done. I don't even know how, but we figured it out. The next morning it's time for us to leave. Once again, you know, she thinking that we buddy and I'm only doing that buddy shit with like it really felt like I was like, you know, there's stories when like people get kidnapped and they like act like they're the kidnapper's friend to like make them feel comfortable. Like, that's what I felt like laugh at her jokes, you know, hype her up, like literally having to act like nothing happened, because she is my only way that I can get anywhere or do anything. Bitch, I had lost this phone that I lost. I had lost another one, and that's why I had this phone that I lost, if that's making sense. So with that being said, because I changed my phone number, because I changed this and this and this, I had to take a picture of my driver's license and my passport to like get into my Facebook or something like that. So I had a picture of my passport in my laptop. So that is why when we went to the airport, I was able to get on my flight, because they didn't even want to take it at first. Like, they didn't want to take the picture because they're like, it's a picture, you know what I'm saying? But I think like everything happens for a reason. I think because it was COVID, you know, the paperwork, like I signed as much paperwork as I could and like showed as much proof of like my US residency as I could, that they just like let me get on the flight. We ended up getting on the flight. I didn't even have to like get on a later flight. We literally got on the flight together. And I just remember calling my dad distraught, my mom distraught, you know, but just trying to also keep them at bay, because I didn't want them freaking out over me being in this foreign country and not having a passport. Like, it was just so many emotions, and it was just such a time. But like I said, I had to do what I had to do to make sure I got back. So like I said, on the flight, she's still trying to kiki with me, and the whole time I'm just looking at her like, bitch, I swear to God. Mind you, my dad's picking us up from the airport, so I'm just like, bitch, as soon as we drop you off, because she had parked her car at my house, and then my dad took us to the airport. As soon as we pull up in my driveway and we get your bags out and you are in your car, I swear to God, you will never hear from me ever again. And that's basically what ended up happening. We got out the airport, my dad picked us up, and my poor dad, like, he knew, I don't think my dad knew about the loss of passport, but my dad didn't know why. So, you know, after we get her bags and she leaves, I'm able to tell my dad everything that happened. Mind you, in the car, she is so nice to my dad, and yeah, we had a great time, and it's just being a psycho, a literal psycho. And also, like I said, I have to be like, yeah, we had a great time, just knowing that, bitch, as soon as you leave, I am trashing your name to my dad. And that's what I I told him everything, and I was just so sorry to like put that stress on him. And you know, I just can't even believe that this happened. Like, I loved her. That was my girl. Like, I would have done anything for her. I did do anything for her, and honestly, I thought she was my girl too. But you know, it's so funny because as time has went by, there are so many times where I look back on red flags. Like, when we were in the airport before we even got to Cabo, she had told me a story about this girl who she was just close as me, friends with, and they ended up having a falling out to where the police had to come. But obviously she painted her friend to be crazy and all of this. And so when we're in the airport, I'm making jokes like, woo, well, good thing that's not us, girl. Good thing that's not us. For it to be us. And I'm like, oh, okay. This is what you do. This is some weird shit. Some weird shit. You are not a girl's girl. You are not a girl's girl. Because for one, a girl's girl would never let some get in the way of her homegirl, especially when her homegirl introduced her to the and then I look back and I'd be like, why the fuck did I do that dumb shit? But how was I ever supposed to know that just that one phone call would explode a friendship? It's insane. So like I said, you know, I went to sleep that night. The next morning, you know, and it sucks too because it's New Year's. Like, it's New Year's. We just ended this year together. We had plans, bitch. She texts me, you know, the next morning, like, hey girl, you know, kind of like on that energy, like, you know, what are we doing next weekend? Like, and I never responded. And I think she got it. just from that response, because just from that non-response, because bitch, we talked all day, every day, hung out every weekend, like that was my husband or something. So when she realized, you know, I didn't text her tonight, I didn't text her the next morning, I didn't text her that night, like I think she just understood. And I haven't talked to her or heard her since. And honestly, my life flourished after that. I met really great people after that, you know. And I just want to say this too, because we are at the end of the story. The best thing that happened out of that vacation was weeks prior, I had auditioned to perform at the Apollo Theater. I know I talk about the Apollo Theater with you guys before, and it was so beautiful because actually that day that I had woken up to go to the airport after all of that bullshit had happened, I had gotten my confirmation email that I was going to be singing at the Apollo, and it was so amazing because I was going to be performing April 13th, and that's 3 days before my birthday. So I had already planned in my head that I'm going to make the Apollo like my birthday trip, and of course I was like still friendly with her, you know, so she's like, oh my god, you know, like we need to make it a thing. Like she very much thought she was going to be going on this career, you know, mind-blowing trip with me, and the whole time I'm like, bitch, you wish. So me finding out that I would be going to the Apollo was honestly like the rainbow, like in this thunderstorm. That was the thing that kept my hopes up. And if you guys want a story time about the 2 times that I went to the Apollo in a 5-week range, definitely let me know. I'll probably talk about it because that was one of the best trips of my life. It was another solo trip. I had never been to New York before, so that was like a beacon of light, you know. But baby, that was my girls trip horror story. Like just one of the worst days of my life. Like, oh God, a friendship that it took me some time to heal. I didn't trust bitches after that. I still don't. Like, I'm a girl's girl, but even with men, with women, it's people, it's the human race. Like, you have to have discernment and you have to keep your walls up. And I don't want to say that people are guilty until proven innocent, but I feel like it's easier to walk into life having that mindset because people have to prove themselves to you. And I'm not saying that like you should prove yourself to me. Like, who the f am I, right? But I feel like in friendships, there is not really a tit for tat, but there's reciprocity in a friendship. And if you feel like at one point you are just not getting the same thing in return, you should peep game and move accordingly. And there have been times in my life, not just with this friendship, but other friendships. Obviously, like I told you guys, my marriage, where I didn't peep game and move accordingly. I peeped game and hoped for the best, but I don't give people the benefit of the doubt anymore. And I don't hope for the best. I see what reality is and I move forward with that. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for listening to my horror story. And if you guys want to hear any more horror stories, if you guys want to hear any of the other things that I talk about on this channel, I talk about self-love and romanticizing your life and things that you can do to level up your life, definitely let me know some ideas. And like I said, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And like I said, I post every single day on my shorts, and I post every single Monday my long form content. So until next time, you guys, bye.
Where'd you go?